Hey, hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Options Mentor. Well, we had the long double diagonal on. I talked about that last week. It did struggle a bit this past week, first time it has in 10 weeks. I don't think 1 out of 10 is a bad range, and you really shouldn't have been down very much whenever you took it off. We did get this run up here, probably into quarter type of thing, uh, is what I think this is. And you may, sometimes at the end of the quarter, you have a run up. Sometimes at the beginning of the quarter, you can even see it go back down on Monday. But of course, that trade was for today. So I want to talk a little bit about next week's setup. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys one again. And I also have a VIX trade that I think you might find interesting. So let's go over here to the screen. And first, let's start out with the SPY. I did this in SPY. You can do it, of course, in SPX. You're going to notice it's a little more expensive. In fact, I modeled something over here in SPX, and you can see it's more expensive than what we normally pay. And the reason is that we're going from Thursday to Monday, right? We're not trading next Friday. It's Good Friday. So you have a 4-day spread instead of 3. A little more expensive. Doesn't mean it can't work. It's just something to be aware of. But let me show this over here in SPY. So in SPY, what I did is we're trading around 407. So I went ahead and went up to 409. And you say, Mark, isn't that a little tighter than normal? It is a little bit tighter because we've had a run up the last few days. And even if it continues some, we're going to be all right. We got room up here. But I'm kind of thinking, hey, we are probably closer to being done with this run up than there's a lot more of it to go. Just a little bit of conjecture on my part. But either way, you can still have this work even if it does run up or if indeed it does come back down. So I did the 409 and bought and sold, the 410 call. This is for the 10th and the 6th. The 6th being next Thursday, the 10th being the following Monday. And then on the put side, I bought a 404, sold a 403. So to me, this is a fairly decent setup. What I like about it, people can use it in SPY. Of course, you can trade paper, or you could actually put this trade on for a couple $100, which really is your max risk, right? Whatever you pay for it. That might be a little more comforting to some than if you put on a one lot over here in SPX. Now your max risk would be almost $2,000. So it's just a different way of doing things. You can do SPY, which is roughly 1/10 the size of SPX. SPY trades like a stock. Another big difference in SPY, you can be assigned. Now, I never have been assigned in SPY. I don't trade it a whole lot myself. It's been a while. I used to trade it a lot years ago. I never got assigned. And of course, you're not going to get assigned in SPX. It is cash settled. But for this one over here in SPX, I went ahead and bought the 4095 call, sold the 4100. If you want to creep that up a little bit, maybe you think we're going to go a little further. I don't have a problem with that at all. You can creep it up a little. And then I just did the 40-40-40-30, very similar to what I did in SPY. I did that in SPX. Now this trade is, like I said, almost $2,000. We're going to try to get 10%, which we can make, according to this in the center now, you could make around 30%. So hopefully, even if volatility goes down a little further against us, we should still be fine on that. By the way, volatility is all the way down in the 18s now. Let's take a look at that real quick, and I'll just talk about that VIX trade also. But first, let's look at the VIX chart. And you can see we're pretty much as low as we've been in over a year on the VIX, the volatility in the SPX. So that gives me a good feeling about putting on long Vega trades like the long double diagonal. And it also makes me think of another thing. Very often when we're down here, we go back up. We chop down, run back up. So I'm going to go over here and look. I don't know what I already have modeled here. But if you just went out here to April 26th, how far out is that? That's 25 days. I think that's probably plenty. And what I modeled here with the VIX at 20 at that particular, that's because it's a future, even though the cash VIX is 18, is modeling here at 20. But I just modeled the 21-25 debit spread. And if you look at that thing, you can put that on for less than $100. Now, you might not get the mid price, but it'll probably be pretty close. And as this thing runs up, you can do very, very well. if we'd happen to get that pop up to 24.25 sometime over the next couple of weeks, that could be very good for you. So I don't do a whole lot of speculative trading, but I do like the looks of this one. So I wanted to show it to you. One of the things I do for spec usually is when we really have a big move up in VIX, a lot of times I look at buying a put debit spread. And when we're really low in the VIX like we are now, I like this idea of buying a call debit spread. Now, I just picked out a couple strikes. You could certainly do it more narrow, wider. You could do the 22, 25, get you in even cheaper. Still great money. You could even move it down to 20, 25 or 20, 23, however you want to play the game. I kind of like that 21, either 24 or 25, I think is a pretty decent thing to try out here, along with the long double diagonal that I showed you guys over here in SPY. So I'll be back next week. I'll probably touch on these. I'll have another topic that we're going to start looking at and maybe another strategy. So I appreciate everyone who's joined my channel, liked my videos. It's really growing now. I encourage anyone who hasn't joined and subscribed to do so. And in the future, there's a whole lot more that I'm going to be putting out here. I try to teach options and option trading in a fairly conservative and also, at least from my point of view, and also simple way. I don't get highly technical with my options trading. It's more of a basic plan, but the stuff does work. And I look forward to sharing a lot more videos like this with you. I'll be back with you again next Friday. Good luck with your trading next week and have a good one. Thank you.